The North. Known for its industry, hard-working and innovative people, we are the engineers of the past and always look for solutions for the future. Our Creative North wants to celebrate that and show the world what we can do.
Hi and welcome to our Creative North, a show that celebrates the creative and digital media sector here in the North East. Today we're sending Cameron over to meet Dan at the Gateshead Academy of Music and Sound, where Cameron's going to try a bit of mixing. Then we head over to Nineworks, where we see how bespoke software is designed for businesses. But first, over to our creative pioneer.
Hi, I'm Cameron and today I'm going to the Gateshead Academy for Music and Sound and let Dan teach us a little bit about mixing.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Cameron?
Yeah.
My name's Dan Donnelly and I'm the Centre Manager here at the Academy of Music and Sound in Gateshead. Welcome to the Academy of Music and Sound. My name's Dan Donnelly. You're a DJ, right?
Yeah, I used to be, and then I started this creative pioneer apprenticeship.
Do you do vinyl or?
A bit of both.
Oh, CDJs?
Yeah.
Do you scratch or Serato or any of that?
Not really, just beat matching that.
So we're a more traditional music academy where we teach people to play guitar, bass, drums, vocals, keyboards, that type of thing. But we do have recording software called Pro Tools, which is like an industry standard software to record music. So what we can do, if you like, is make a track, something maybe like what you would play when you're DJing, or maybe something quite different.
Yeah, cool.
We'll just see where it goes. Do you want to have a look at the studio?
Yeah, well.
Cool. So this is our little control room. As you can see, there's a big live room out there, and that's really where bands would play, and we'd record it into the Pro Tools software in this computer here. It primarily comes into this computer through this, which is a quite complicated piece of equipment. It's effectively a digital desk, and you can put things like compression, equalization, but we primarily use it as what's called an audio digital converter. So I'll just fire up the computer here.
So do you use that as a MIDI keyboard as well?
Yeah, do you know what MIDI is?
Yeah.
Do you know what it stands for?
No.
It's Musical Instrument Digital Interface. The software also has a load of virtual instruments that we can play in, and yeah, we use that little thing just to play, you know, maybe pianos or stuff like that. So
yeah.
We actually mix in the computer. As you can see, there's like some channels, which it looks to all intents and purposes like a mixing desk. You've got the channels there, and then the information's stored from left to right.
So can I have a listen to some of the stuff you've done?
Sure. So pick an instrument that you want to create virtually.
Drums.
Okay. So there's two ways to go about creating drums. One is to find some samples. So expand to, that's a sampler. So say we choose a rock kit. The other thing you could do, and you might be familiar with this kind of stuff, is a programmable. If you're doing something more electro, there's this thing called boom. So you've got a kick sound there. Let me just turn this up. So if we want to do and then add a snare in. You can change the snare if you want. The opportunities are absolutely, you know, you can do anything you want really.
Yeah, I never realised it was that easy as well. So how long does it normally take you to like make a track?
Anything between half an hour and 3 months.
So the music is getting made, Cameron and Dan are cracking through it, and I've learned that keyboards can make drum sounds. Turns out I've been playing them both wrong all these years.
Coming back on you.
first thing you need to do is make yourself some instrument tracks. So if you go to track, instrument 1, what do you want to put down first? What do you think is the most important thing about hip hop?
Drum.
Drums. So we'll start. There's probably going to be several drum loops, right?
So do I have to use that actual beat up and I just use the...
You can put 10 beats in and swap between them all if you want. As you see, there's how many are there? There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Just try the human beatbox just for a laugh. So as you see, you've got the world's your oyster really in terms. So choose the one you want. Okay, so you need to come up with a bass line now. Cool. Sounding good already. Shall we just loop this as well while we're at it? Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, we liking that?
Yeah.
I got this fella as well. Again, we'll sort it out in the mix. Okay, cool. So you got a regular bass, a wobbly bass, and 2 drum loops.
This track reminds me of those old school anthems I used to listen to. Although you can't see it, I'm throwing some mad shapes.
So what do you think the difference between actually making the track and being a DJ and putting on the track?
It was good to explore the different side of it because I've never really had a proper look at it, and it's really interesting how easy some of the tracks are to make than I thought. But it was really interesting. Thanks for teaching us as well.
No problem. Do you think it might be something that you would get into?
Yeah, definitely. I'll probably have a look on the on my computer when I can get in, see what softwares I can try and download. Have you got any software? No.
There's loads of free software to be able to do this kind of thing, loops and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
This is a quite expensive version. It's more for recording guitars and stuff like that, but we've just sort of used the MIDI side of it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of MIDI?
It's really cool the fact you can use a keyboard to use different instruments. I never thought you could do that.
Do you think it's easier to make dance music than you thought?
Yeah, a lot easier.
Have you lost any respect for your
No,
heroes?
not really, because it'd still be hard making a 5-minute track, especially a lot better than the one we've just made.
When it's done well, it takes a lot of time. Like all that MIDI we've drawn in. When you're a drum and bass guy, you're drawing in all those tiny little things and all those little. They're all drawn in with a pen.
I can imagine it being kind of frustrating as well.
Just time consuming, really, really time consuming. So all the music basically came out of your brain. So where was that coming from?
I don't know, I wanted to start off doing a hip hop beat, and then I thought I'd explore it a bit more and put the BPM up a bit more and try some drum and bass.
Yeah, it ended up being drum and bassy, didn't it?
Sort of.
Started off quite hip hoppy, which kind of shows you that drum and bass is just double sped hip hop, really.
Much, yeah.
What influences did you draw on? What did you decide? What made you decide to go drum and bass or hip hop?
Well, the 2 main genres I listen to, to be honest. Been interested to see how it works and like the ticks of how to do it.
And what made you choose? So the drum loops were very much influenced by your love of hip hop, drum and bass. What made you choose the synths and the organs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it just sounded cool, to be honest, compared to the other things, and especially the guitar as well. I didn't think you could transport an electric guitar onto the song you're making. That was pretty cool.
So like trial and error, really. How easy did you find that?
One too hard, but one too easy.
Yeah, we had a couple of sounds you didn't like at one point. Which ones did you not like?
Just a bit too heavy, a bit too like up in your face sort of effect.
It all went a bit squelchy for a while in the middle, didn't it? And then we sort of drew it all back in, and it sounded a bit nicer towards the end. Yeah. But if you had one bit you were proud of, what would that be?
Probably the 2 drum loops mixing in together. The first one, the second one. The reggae, I think it was a reggae one, wasn't it? And then just a normal drum bass one.
So spoken like a true DJ. The beat, it was all about the beat.
So there we have it. Cameron's been really working hard on that track, and it sounds great. So after the break, we're going to head over and speak to Andy and Paul over at Nineworks, who deal in bespoke business software. We'll see you then.
Pick up the phone.
Welcome back. We're heading over to Nineworks now to meet Andy and Paul, who deal in bespoke business software.
My name's Andy Walton. I'm the Managing Director for the Nine software company.
Paul Bicker, Head of Software Development at the Nine Software Company.
We decided to create a business that essentially had 3 of us in it to start with. No clients, which was quite either foolish or a bold move. But we had a belief that we could build something that was fantastic here in the northeast of England, and that's what we did. So this for me, I was an accidental entrepreneur. Thoroughly enjoyed employed life working in an organisation where it was very entrepreneurial, but it had structure. And so it was quite a leap of faith for me to move to becoming a true entrepreneur, of which I thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it. It was never a career path that was suggested to me as a younger guy. But it's something that I'll certainly make sure that I'm suggesting to my children they take advantage of.
Back in day one, I guess, there was myself and Andy, ultimately, in the business. Andy was securing the work, and I was delivering the work, and that was pretty much it. Andy was salesman, project manager, customer liaison, etc., and I was the sole developer, and it was it was a kind of a pure startup mindset. Yeah, I've got quite a few responsibilities here, managing the team of software developers that we have here to ensure that we're delivering world-class software to the highest standards, and also as part of that, myself writing high-quality code as well.
I mean, the nice thing about Nine is that we don't have any preconceived notion of what we're going to sell the client. What we do is we sit down, we talk to them, we listen to them, more importantly, and we establish what the real need is. So it's about talking to them about where there's a challenge within their business, and that might be process-based, it might be mobile applications, it might be something delivered via the web, it might be systems integration. Well, for us as a business, it's all about software, so none of it matters what it is that we're delivering for the client. It's the thing that gives the most benefit for the client. Essentially, it's been a journey that we've been on. There was 3 of us to start with. We started winning the first few clients that we were working with. And luckily for us, the clients really appreciate what we do. We're a trusted advisor for them because they know we're there to deliver the right solution for them. And all those clients really respect what we do and advise them on how we deliver the solutions. So we've built year on year. We continuously reinvest in the business. We're always looking for really talented guys and girls to join the business, to showcase what we've got here in the region. Because ultimately we've got some fantastic people here in the region, and I think that's often understated.
A lot of people, I guess, are stuck in jobs that they hate. I'm quite lucky that I'm doing something I love, extremely passionate about building, software. Don't get me wrong, it's massively stressful at times. When you've got commitments, deadlines and things like that, it can get very stressful, but, when I take a step back and take a look at what I'm doing, I absolutely love it.
For me, I wake up one morning thinking, I want to go into the office and see what we're doing. I go home at night and I'm very proud of the things that we've achieved, and I don't just tell my wife and children. I talk to my friends and explain some of the real innovation that we're delivering here in Nine. So for me, there's no better job in the world. When guests come into our boardroom and they talk to us about the things that they're trying to achieve, and my guys then start to spark and talk about how we can resolve some of the problems and the challenges that they've got, that makes me immensely proud.
I look for that desire, that passion, the hacker kind of attitude, that is, you know, paramount when I'm interviewing people, and that's, you know, talking to the young people of today. That's what I believe you should be doing.
I mean, let's face it, we've got a talent pool here in the region that for many years have been looking to move out of the region to establish their careers in Manchester, Leeds, London. And the reality is, unless we're building businesses like mine and the other creative businesses in the northeast of England, we're always going to have that drain of talent. What we're seeing is actually the reverse. We're seeing young guys and girls that have come to university here. We're seeing others that have had to move away because they felt like that was the next step in their career, wanting to come back to the northeast. And that makes me even prouder than the fact that we recruit from the universities and the talent pool that's on our doorstep. Seeing guys and girls coming back from other areas into the northeast makes me immensely proud.
It's such a small community when you know, I know people who work for various agencies around the northeast and bigger software companies around the northeast, and you know, this was one of the reasons why Nine was created, was that, you know, a lot of the development houses are based in either London or Manchester, and people were saying, you know, you just can't do it, you can't set up something like this in Newcastle, and you know, we're proof that you can. You know, we're very successful, and you know, gone from strength to strength, and it's absolutely fantastic, I believe, for the northeast.
So back at the Gateshead Academy of Music and Sound, Dan is taking Cameron through the last stages of tightening the track. Dan has a great history involved with music. Let's check in with him to find out more.
I'm primarily like a folk musician that came up through, well, I played in New York for years in the sort of Bob Dylan-y singer-songwriter circuit, and then I came back to England in 2009 and ended up managing up here. I moved up north because I met my wife, she's from up north, and I've ended up working for this company managing this music school. We've got about 80 kids that do the equivalent of A-levels in music performance and right up to the degree. We've got, you know, singer-songwriters, bassists, guitarists, drummers, vocalists, and we've got people do, you know, like the lead singer of the Future Heads is doing his degree here. He's also teaching a little bit here. My dad was a musician, and I started playing bass when I was about 6, guitar when I was about 9. Then basically dropped out of school to join bands when I was about 18, 19. Travelled the world, went all over the place, America, New Zealand, all over the shop. Went from being a band guy back to being a singer-songwriter, solo performer for a while, and now I'm actually back in an indie rock band again, but I still do the solo stuff. The best and worst thing about the music industry, as we've seen today, you can make a track on a computer in a couple of hours. With the event of the internet, that can be available online at iTunes, so anybody that can't even play music can sit down with a piece of software, make a track, put it on iTunes, and it's technically available all over the world, which is a really empowering and great thing. At the same token, it's also a really terrible thing, because people that have honed their craft and really understand how to make music find it impossible to make money because the market's flooded. When I started out, if you wanted to record yourself, you had to go to a recording studio. It cost you about 200 quid a day minimum. You had to do gigs, save up, then you'd go in and you would press a record, you'd make a record, spend a lot of money, and then sell it and hopefully recoup the money. Educationally, in the academy here, we teach them about music business, about how to make money from syncs, how to make money, which is like getting your music in adverts, stuff like that, how to make money from things like YouTube. We give them a skill set to be able to survive in the modern music industry, which is really, really difficult. Everybody's a musician here. In order to come here, you've got to pass an audition, so you have to be musically inclined to go to the academy. So my main goal for doing this in the northeast is to properly establish this little hub that we've got here in Gateshead. And I only started working here this year, so I really want to try to make the academy known, not as a household name or anything, but I want musicians to know that if they come here, they're getting the best possible shout they can at a career in music. They're not going to like a school and being taught by a teacher that went to school, went to uni, did teacher training and went back to school to teach music, that knows how to play the piano, but has never done a gig in his life, has never woken up in Denmark and not knowing what country he's in because he can't understand the language and doesn't know what the money looks like, has never, you know, most people teaching music have never done it. They don't know what it really entails. And I want musicians in the Northeast to know that if they come here that they'll get a proper rounded education by proper musicians. We want young driven musicians that want to succeed in the music industry.
So there we have it, another great episode of Our Creative North. If you're a young person looking to change career or maybe get involved in one of the creative or digital media sectors, go to www.creative-north.org, check us out, get in contact, and we'll see how we can help. We'll see you next time.
Just a way.